So Kamen Rider Gavv just premiered and it has a bunch of people excited, including myself. There's a bunch to talk about with just this one episode, so let's get right into it. And obviously, spoilers ahead. Starting off, I feel like we should talk about Shoma first. He's our main rider being Kamen Rider Gavv, and I'm already interested in his story, especially the stuff with his mom. We know that his mom is a crucial part to why he is the way he is through his flashbacks as a kid. And it seems that him not being able to save her is a major driving factor for wanting to protect people and their families. But on the topic of his mom, we know that his dad is a GRANUTE and his mom is a human. So if Shoma is actually a part of the Stomach family like the credits say, I guess the final boss will be Shoma's father. Also, I have a weird feeling that we're gonna get another Ace situation where his mom will trigger his final form with her death. But on the topic of family, Shoma calling his Gochizo creations his family is an interesting choice of words since they literally die after being used. Maybe this will be an important line considering how GOTCHARD was with his Kimmies for his final form. But on the topic of Gochizos, I wonder what happens if he just runs out. Would he just be forced to de-henshin, or will his armor just disappear? What will happen? Also, I wonder if there's a reason for why his Gavv is the way it is. The GRANUTE belts not only look like they came straight out of a horror film, but they also have white teeth and electric wires coming out of them. And they also have this weird mouth USB type of thing that pops out of them when they transform. While Shoma sticks straight out of his stomach and has yellowish teeth. So this makes me wonder if Shoma's Gavv is incomplete due to not eating the dark snacks. Or is this what a Gavv is supposed to look like? And you'll understand why I say that in due time. Anyways, I'm interested in how Shoma will interact with this world and how his superhuman strength will impact the story. And Shoma's supposed to be hiding the fact that he's a monster now, but it seems like he's willing to jump into danger considering he thought Truck-kun was much tougher. Yes, Shoma is stronger than Truck-kun. But I wonder how long this secret alien identity of his is going to last, and who all is going to know his secret. Anyways, in Shoma's fight, he states that the GRANUTE and himself are both monsters. And I absolutely love this line. Essentially, Shoma knows that he's different, but knows that he has to protect the people on Earth. Also, I wonder if Shoma will have an inner conflict with himself after failing to protect someone or injuring someone by accident. But I'm getting a little carried away here, so let's get into the HENSHIN. I absolutely love the HENSHIN for Gavv. I love how vibrant the HENSHIN is and how it encapsulates Shoma into a candy bag. Also, I love when he says HENSHIN, his eyes glow and he trips, almost like he's triggering his monster instinct. Also, the gummy armor popping right onto him is extremely cool. I like how the Gochizos pretty much guide Shoma on how to fight and use them. But as for the action in this episode, it blew it out of the water compared to GOTCHARD's first episode. The shots remind me a lot of how Geats was shot with very dynamic posing and close-up shots with slow motion. And Geats did phenomenal with those, so I hope that we get another moment like those. Also, I love how his armor can go away and he's forced to grab another Gochizo to recharge his armor again. And like I said before, I feel like this could potentially lead to Shoma running out of Gochizos and losing somehow. Also, I think the choice of using a shipping yard made for a really interesting fight and also for dynamic choreography. I love that we get to see Shoma jump around and squeeze into areas, showing off that he's more monster than human. Also, I just have to say, I love this shot of him slicing the storage container in half and going right through it. It's clean. I know I sound like a broken record, but again, this is extremely Geats coded. Now, it could just be the fact that this is episode 1, but I'm really hopeful that they will keep up this kind of energy with the whole series. Now, for the ATV fight scene, I'm actually really shocked at how well this looked. It looks like it came straight out of a video game, which is a compliment. I think they blended in the CGI and the non-CGI parts very, very well. I think this is going to allow for interesting shots, such as the one that we saw on the skyscraper, and it also displays Shoma's different fighting style. As for the rider kick, oh my goodness, this was beautiful. You can absolutely feel the impact of the rider kick on the GRANUTE. Also, I found it really interesting that apparently Gavv is our weakest Kamen Rider. Yes, this man is weaker than Riot Troopers and Riot players, and even Kuga's growing form. That is absolutely insane. But I guess this should be expected since his debut was against a Dread Trooper in his base form. But this makes me wonder, how strong will Shoma be in the overall grand scheme of things? And considering how OP the other Reiwa Riders have been in their final forms, I'm interested to see how Gavv ranks. Maybe we'll see a possible power creep where he gets stronger as the series goes on. So if you want to see more Gavv videos, subscribe. So now let's talk about the GRANUTEs. This is arguably one of the more interesting things, given that there's a lot of hidden details in the first episode. First off, I have a feeling that the dark snacks are going to be similar to the Gaia memories in Kamen Rider Double. These dark snacks give GRANUTEs a hit of dopamine that makes them seek human happiness. With that said, are the dark snacks corrupting the Gavvos of the GRANUTEs? Shoma's mother warned him not to eat any of the snacks at all in the flashback. And Shoma even gives the Hound GRANUTE two options: to lay off the snacks and live a normal life, or he will end him. So I guess these snacks will be a drug allegory, which could be interesting since it could humanize these monsters. And I also find it interesting that they basically integrated themselves into society now, and they've been hiding amongst humans for a while now. And again, I have the feeling that we're going to see a situation where someone has bonded with a GRANUTE, and they're going to protect them thinking that they're not going to hurt them. And knowing Junko Kimura, I have a feeling she might try to do something like this. But moving on, I think we should take a look at the GRANUTE that HANTO drew up. This could potentially be a major boss in the future. And notice how his Gavv is red, just like Shoma's. Could this potentially be a villain rider? Also, the head looks like it could potentially be a visor of some sort. I think HANTO saw this villain rider and sketched it, or he could simply just be a horrible artist just like me. But speaking of HANTO, we didn't get a bunch about him in the episode, but we did get a lot from the preview and the HENSHIN lesson. So there is enough to talk about him at least a little bit. First off, we know that he's a freelance writer, but I guess he doesn't really know how to start a conversation off, just like me, so we can't get much info about the GRANUTES. But it really does seem like he wants to solve the disappearance of people. Now what I'm more interested in about is how he will interact with Shoma, since Shoma is a monster. We know through the HENSHIN lesson that HANTO doesn't know about Shoma's power as of at least episode 3, since in the next episode he meets Sachika and lives at the candy shop. Shoma in the special hides his power from HANTO immediately before henshining. And in the preview, it seems like HANTO sees Shoma on top of a building and seems to be shocked by it. With all this said, I wonder if we're going to have another Aruto and Fuwa situation where the main rider hides his identity from the secondary for a while. And if so, for how long? Also, that brings me to another question. Where does Valen get the Valen Buster and the Chakodan Gochizo? Will Shoma drop a Gochizo that he finds, or will he straight up steal it? And if this is the case, will the Gochizo die after one use, or will it live on after each fight? Overall, I'm curious on where Valen is headed, but now let's talk about Sachika. Now, Sachika had a brief scene in episode 1, so we really don't have much to speak on about her. But we do know that she is going to house Shoma. The question is she actually going to know Shoma's secret? And I'm going to shoot for yes due to the Zaku Zaku form being in the next episode. And we saw that Shoma can't really control when the Gochizos come out. So I imagine that the Gochizos will pop out and they'll freak her out, but she'll be like, oh, they're cute, and all of that. Also, it seems like Shoma will be working for her in some way due to him moving boxes. But anyways, I am hoping that she is our supposed pudding rider. Now let's talk about Hajime. I'm gonna be honest, I fully expect Hajime to return to the series later on. His role in this episode was way too big, and his mom had someone taken away from him from the GRANUTES, so I fully expect for him to come back in some capacity. I don't think his role is going to be like Ochipos or Buster's kid, but he's definitely going to be a reoccurring character given the impact he left on episode 1. Also, while I'm here, I want to discuss the OST because hot damn, this OST is absolute fire. I think the EDM track when Gavv transformed definitely gives off mysterious vibes, and it definitely gets you hyped up. As for the emotional tracks, I think it makes you feel the pain and misery Shoma has been through. And as for the theme song, it's a bop. It definitely feels like a Gavv opening. It gets you excited for this wacky adventure with our monster rider, but it also feels lighthearted as well. I doubt we'll get this as an insert during a fight, but definitely as a happy ending to the show. I hope the insert songs can keep up with the rest of the OST, because right now it's competing with Geats, which is the bop. But overall, I think the theme Gavv is going to shoot for this season is Found Family. Shows that have this sort of theme are normally praised by Toku fans, and this is where Kimura would shine, since most of her shows have a really good hero cast. Ones where the characters feel like a family and not just a group of people working together. But my biggest hope is that we get a Berserk form this season. I would love to see Gavv get a Berserk form, and honestly it would fit with a season. Shoma could possibly be force-fed a dark snack, or a corrupted Gochizo, or the Stomach family gets a hold of one and feeds it a dark snack or something. Also, it's been a hot minute since we've had a Berserk form for a main rider, but I look forward to what Gavv has in store for us for the next year. But with that, I'm gonna get the heck out of here. I'm Foul Place, and I'm out. Peace.